Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going up the highest thing in England, Scafell Pike, and last time I did it I showed you the quickest route, but to me this is the best route. Right, let's check it out on the map. We start this trek at Seathwaite Farm and take the path at the rear, making our way up to the fantastic Taylorgill Force. If you take the regular path on the other side of the gill, we wouldn't be able to encounter this. It's a fantastic waterfall and not to be missed. Continuing, we pick up Styhead Gill and follow it all the way to our second point of interest, Styhead Tarn. This is a favourite amongst wild campers, and on the day that we go, it's frozen solid. From here, we continue through the snowy landscape. This is a steady traverse, and we need to watch our footing, until the corridor route meets Lingmell Col. At Lingmell Col, and with only half a mile to go to the summit of Scafell Pike, disaster strikes, and I have to make the decision to come back for reasons I'll explain later. Although this video only shows about 90% of the route, I decided to publish it to show you what I learned. The remaining section to Scafell Pike is a steady up through a boulder field until we reach the summit. On the run into the village, I'd say there's space for probably about 30 cars in the sidings, so they're all down here today. I wasn't sure how popular it would be today because it's about -2, but the answer is pretty busy. It's about 9:30 in the morning and it's already pretty full with people parking about a quarter of a mile outside the village. That's our snowy view today as we approach. This route's roughly 14k, so about 10 miles. So it's a good old walkout. We're starting off at the farm and here's the charges. A little bit further down the road there are some sidings and you can park in there for free if you wish. We're just over the bridge and then we're heading up. We go over Grange Gill on the bridge and then we're onto it. You can see the ice down there. Even on running water it's solid, so it's -2 today. Pretty cold. So we're starting off on the right hand side of the gill as we go up. Look at that though, that is frozen. So it just shows you how cold it's been. And we're going to head down, you can sort of see the trail. This start can be a little damp sometimes, so if you choose to go on the left, it's totally fine. It's only a short section. It's a bit of a test with all the ice around. Squeeze through here. So the farm is down there, so just a short distance, and we're carrying on across here. As I was coming in this morning, I was seeing cloud inversions, I was seeing the sun break over the mountains, so spectacular drive in. If you do Scafell Pike this way round, you'll probably find you get to the start point quicker than you do if you go into Wastwater on the other side and starting off from the car park at Wast Head, because that's the most popular route. It does get busy, not that this isn't busy in the car parking, but some people are going up to Great Gable because Base Brown is just over here, and some people are going up Eagle Crag. So I can't see anybody else on this particular route. That's us looking down the valley. Blencath was just over to the left, and then Blee Fell. High Street, near where we were last week. I was surprised how quick I got here this morning. So I've got about 7 hours to do this, and I think it's doable reasonably in 6. So hopefully be okay. The last bit is fairly low level anyway, and I've got my head torch should I need it, so got preparation there. If you want to know what I've got in my bag, I'll do a short description video just explaining what I wear for winter walking, but all my gear is in the description as usual. So if you go onto there, you can have a look at it. come to this stone wall eventually, little dog gate there, and we're over here. All right then, a little bit windier than I thought today. It's about 10 miles an hour, so not too bad. Still get the drone up. There's a few of these little tributaries to get over when you're coming down. And I've got to say, this side, despite all the cars, is dead quiet because I've seen no one on this side, although the other track just goes along there, and I have seen people going down there. I knew it would be icy today and snowy because when I was up last week, I saw it start to come in, and yeah, it's a lot whiter than I thought. But I have brought my spikes with me, so that's how I can get good grip, so I'll show you those. These are only about 23 quid or something. I'll put a link in the description, but they give me a lot more grip because I've got good spikes on them. I definitely recommend those, and for 20 quid, definitely is worth having. It is going to be -2 all day, so it's not really going to thaw out that much. Oh, this is a lot more snowy than I thought. So, you know, pretty deep, and there are deeper drifts. But generally speaking, about 4 or 5 inches of snow. That's us continuing to go forward. If I was going out in thicker snow, I'd be wearing full crampons, but these will do us for today. Also, if you're walking somebody else's tread marks, you'll find it's a bit easier travelling, use a bit less energy. There we go then. So we're joining on the trail that's a bit more used. Fairly close to the edge, so you know, when it's like this, just be careful. But there's a little bit of hands used on here as well, just to help out. So gloves are a good idea on this walk, especially in the winter. It's a bit of a scramble, and we're heading to that gate up there. There we go. Gonna turn back on this bit because this is where the sheep go by the look of it. And sheep know what they're doing. Oh yeah, that's better. It's only about 40 feet or something, but it's a nice little climb. There we are then. Oh, I don't need to do that to latch. Perfect. Right, so get a better view, and we're going to get closer even still. Wow. So we're heading up the ridge on that way. So we're just kind of traversing around the edge here. I find the plus and minus with spikes is sometimes they don't feel as great on the bare rock because they wobble about a bit, but on the ice they are a godsend. So given that's the main problem for today, I'll go with that. This one's got no bother though, have you? Easy little walk down. Well, although it looks tiny on the GoPro, no doubt, we're just through there, and that looks fantastic when you're here with your actual eye bobbles. This climb up is quite steep, and it's about 150 metres, and then we level out a bit. I'm ready at the side of Base Brown here. A bit of holly there for the winter. No berries though, birds have had them. At this point, that's the closest we're going to come, which looks pretty decent from here. You can see all the sheets of ice built up. Really glad I put these spikes on because there's a lot of ice and it's pretty thick. So I'd just be skidding all over the place otherwise on what is quite a steep drop off, so not great. Yeah, so they're really good, useful to have in your bag. They don't really weigh much, so you're not going to use them, doesn't really matter. There we go, there's a bit of powder around. When I was coming there this morning, just when I went past Blencathra, a couple of guys there getting skis out. They must be going down the mountain with them. It did actually look a bit like the Alps when I was on my way. Really sort of blue skies, dawn breaking, white peaks, absolutely fantastic. Look at this. Look, I'll give you a close up. Well, you can see how thick that is. That's about 2 inches thick. No water in there at all. And because there's so much of it, you really need some grip. That chunky fella down there. Lovely. I know obviously some people are looking at this to prep for doing this route, which is a great idea, especially in winter. So I'll try and take as much as I can going around. There's a lot of sheep poo. What are we going to do about this? Oh, we'll go under here. There were some storms a couple of weeks ago, and there's a few trees fallen over as a result. So dodgy winter weather. Once we pass the waterfall, the second point of interest is Styhead Tarn, which I'll be interested to see because I want to see if it's frozen over. But that's a beautiful tarn. Whoop. This is proper snowdrift now. Look at that. You can see that's a bit like 6 inches or something like that. You can't really guarantee where the edge actually is. So if you are walking in drifts, you want to come a bit further in. But as I say, I'm following somebody else's footprints here because they didn't fall, so I'm assuming the ground's still there. This is Styhead Gill coming down, and Styhead Tarn is a bit further on. So we're going to push up to that. So I'm just aware of the time and the need to get some filming done. If you're in the summer, that is going to be a lovely little swimming pool for you if you like wild swimming, and that's how I look back down. So that's the valley right down there. As we look back down there, left to right, we just got the very edge of Blencathra, and then over to Bleaberry Fell, High Seats and Clough Head, then Scafell Pike. Gill's just continuing, you can see it running all the way up there. Absolutely fantastic. Someone's gone over there to do a little shot of it, but it's a drift down there, so I'll stay here. Right, let's press on. It's absolutely fantastic, this. I've not come across anybody at all, so I think that's probably because this is about 10 miles, and so you've got to be kind of moving quite a bit, and obviously not everyone wants to come out in these conditions, so that's another thing. If you do want to come out when it's like this, I'm actually too warm. I've got a synthetic base layer on, a merino wool mid layer, this jacket is down jacket, got another jacket in my bag, but I am hot. So if you think you're going to be too cold when you're moving, probably not if you're dressed appropriately, and layering's the key to that. Oh wow, look at that. It's like nature's garden centre. Yeah, this is the path, and if it didn't have spikes on, this would be an absolute nightmare. As it is, you can just blast through it, no problem at all. Look at that, it's like an alpine stream. Styhead Tarn, Absolutely magic, and absolutely no one here. We'll leave the tarn behind and we're heading up, and you can just see the very top of Scafell Pike just up there. So there it is. The wind is getting a bit bitey now, and it's staying at minus something all day. So -2. So the wind chill factor would feel like -8. So yeah, but apart from my face, I don't feel the slightest bit cold. I'm showing a few routes up Scafell Pike. Did it a few weeks ago just to show people the fastest and easiest way up, which it is. And half the people I saw were in trainers, but you won't get away with that at all today. So I wouldn't even like to get away with just boots. I'll say spikes are the way forward if you're coming out with any degree of ice like this. That's what I'd say anyway. It's a bit of a pain when you're at the roadside because it's a bit like wibbly. You stand on the concrete and the tarmac, but it makes sense once you get up. Got a sun there just poking through. This is the stretchy box, which is a good marker point, so we're just heading for that. Stretchy box is here for good reason, because it is dangerous coming out in these conditions. I've also got a radio in my bag so I can call for help if I need to get that, because I'll see some more people now, but I've not seen anyone on that route at all. And yeah, I got a first aid kit with me as well, just in case. So this is Styhead stretchy box. There was unfortunately a fatality last week on Sharp Edge on Blencathra, so thoughts obviously go out to the family, the people that knew that guy, and I do actually know people that knew him, so that's pretty close to home. In the back of the last Wainwright book, he makes a few notes on exciting places to be for fell walkers that are not the tops, and in the exciting places he does mention certainly Lord's Rake, and he also mentions the run down there on Mickledore. So they're 2 of the 6, so you can get them pretty quickly. I'm going to do the rest of them this year, so you'll see them coming up, but I've done I think 4 already, so I'll put in links to those in a new folder called Exciting Situations. Why not? On the corridor route, we are going to descend a bit, and then we'll pick up the main route as it goes up Scafell Pike. So we just got to travel down here a bit. And we're heading up again. I can see in the valley there the snow line where it starts to creep in, then go to springtime at the low bit. It's got Skew Gill going down it. Right, it's full at the moment with snow. So that is us heading down and up. It's pretty quiet around the lakes today. Probably seen about 10 people or so on for Scafell Pike. Not that we're there yet, but that's a rarity. Still climbing. It's about 550 now meters, so about 400 to go-ish. I am on the corridor route, but not as I recognise it at all. This is looking completely different. You can just see behind me the valley we've come from, and we're about 600 metres now and well on the trail. Whew. You do expend a lot more energy doing this in the snow, so got some extra snacks with me. The up's mainly like this, so it's essentially white, rocky and dangerous with a big drop off. So got to be a bit careful, not filming too much because you've got your wits about you. I'll say there are not many people here today at all. Just spoke to a guy there and he says there's about 5 lads ahead of me, but not very well prepared, so I'll probably come across them shortly. Hopefully we can get up and down in time because it's about 2.5 hours of light left. Well, that's us heading forward. Much of the same, black and white. I am filming this in colour, honestly. So everything looks black and white with the shadows and the snow. It's yeah, should have brought me goggles really, because that would have helped the distinction of the path a little more. Sometimes it's difficult to pick out. Still, got my app on and that's tracking it, and it's buzzing when I go off track, so pretty much okay, pretty confident where we're going, and I'm definitely on a worn route. Now ahead of us here, you got Lingmell, comes to Lingmell Col, and over here, out towards the Mosedale Horseshoe, and you've got, oh, I can see some people down there. You're up to Kirkfell, and then you've got Great Gable, and then going down to Green Gable. Now at this point, this is where disaster strikes. I'd sent my drone off to follow the path so I could get the drone footage, and then I flew it past myself about 200 metres and then it lost signal. Not because it was out of range, it was just simply that I had some water in the socket between my phone and the hand controller, so it cut out. It did an emergency landing, but it was in a snowdrift, so I had to leave the path and go around about 100 metres in a 4 to 5 foot snowdrift until I could eventually recover it. If you've ever been off-piste when skiing or snowboarding or in the Alps, you'll know that 10 metres is a long way to go in a snowdrift. So 100 metres took all my energy. And when I got back to the path, I decided it was best to go back down. As you can see from these stats, my body battery went from 95% at the start of the day down to 5%. And 5% is as low as it goes. The Garmin app doesn't register 0, it stops at 5%. So I was essentially exhausted. You can see the next day I hadn't fully recovered at all, and so I'm really glad I didn't try and push on and then come back, because it would have been too much. Once I was at the bottom and I was taking off my spikes, I did experience cramp for a couple of minutes. That was proof enough for me that it was the right decision to come back down. Despite the fact that I didn't complete the route, there were lessons learned and I can get it next time. If you enjoyed the video and got some value out of it, then it helps me out if you click on the like. And also, if you want to see more of these, but normally complete routes, if you click on subscribe, then you'll see the new ones as they come up. Thanks for watching, I'll see you next time.